Well, hello everyone and welcome. It's been an incredibly long time since we've done a night watch, and I can't thank you all enough for being here. I think more of you showing up now than ever did back then, so it's pretty cool. I'm joined tonight on my night watch by Mr. Joe Dolio. How you doing, Joe?
I'm well and good. We had a pretty fantastic veterans event today that I'll be sharing video of on Monday's show. We got out and served a bunch of homeless veterans. We provided them with some clothing and gear and food, good meal, and most importantly, connected them with assets, right? The bunch of VA assets and private NGO assets, is really trying to help folks get back on their feet. So had a great time doing that today.
Hey man, that is kick butt. I didn't know about it. I wish I did. I'd have broadcast that a lot better. I love those kind of events, and I can't wait to see the footage.
I will tell you about the October one and get you on board for that. Yep.
That is fantastic. And you might have noticed we're also joined by a good friend of mine, Old Hong Kong. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Good. Working hard, having fun, living the life, you know.
I
just felt this was an important one.
It is, and speaking of working hard, I know few people who I hear about working quite as hard as you, although none of them have quite as much fun somehow.
Yeah, it's because I'm surrounded by wonderful people like Mr. Dolio.
Speaking of which, impromptu, why don't we before we get started looking at anything else, look at the old Riot stabber poker, the new mongoose, which has just been released by our friends over at Shield Arms. If you find yourself in close quarters combat, there's no finer thing to defend yourself with than what Mr. Dolio probably has at hand, I'm hoping.
I don't. It's in the other room.
Oh no!
I had it on my belt all day. I showed it to a whole bunch of people, and then I left it in the back of the house when I came up here.
But yeah, shieldarms.com, and then go check out the mongoose. Good stuff. You can't get one now, though, but you can sign up for a waiting list, I'm hoping.
Yeah. They're going to let me know as soon as it's available, and I will let everyone here know. And we'll probably put out a video about the knife. I'm going to take it to Oklahoma and make a real good video with it, do some outdoorsy things with it. And see if I can get it to stick in a tree and all that good stuff. So
fantastic. All right, guys. And with that said, we take you now to our degenerating society. Not gonna lie, so there was some action in New York, and maybe our friend who is more familiar with the East Coast can bring us up to date on that. But I think most of it is being concentrated in Los Angeles.
Do they think they're going to stop police vehicles with Target shopping carts?
The plastic ones too.
A development that was talked about in the CFC chat that's important to note. A short time ago, a Homeland Security Black Hawk landed on the roof of this detention center and dropped off food and water. So these guys are preparing to be under siege and not accessible by ground assets for a while. So it sounds like we are in for a good night. They wouldn't have dropped that stuff if they didn't have pretty good intel that something was going. And both myself and a couple other private sector intel minds all heard that this afternoon, the Black Bloc folks were having several meetings about how they could escalate and how they could mobilize more people for tonight. That's why we decided to do this and get out here. So going to be fun.
Yeah, when you see that number of ISR flights in the sky, you know something is gonna happen.
I see a bunch of folks who've attended my community security class in the chats, and tonight we're going to be pointing out all things they're doing. Like I just watched the LA Sheriff's Department deploy concertina wire in front of their roadblock, just like we talk about in class. So, good times.
It's that kind of thing, guys. I think it's going to get to be a really, really busy week.
I think so. We have to, Jim mentions this, but we have to keep this in mind that next Saturday is when the left actually plans massive protests across the country. So there's going to be something.
Well, and let's look over what there has been of something. So we're going to keep checking in on the live streams until we see something start to pop up. But until then, we're going to review some video that I've gathered and some video that you guys have sent to me. Just some clips from the day. Some of it's news stream that has audio. Some of it we're just going to be commenting right over the top of. But enjoy. I think this first one speaks for itself. itself. We have many angles of it, but this is the helicopter angle.
Is there some sort of smoke grenade that's been placed inside of that vehicle? Something.
Smoke grenade.
So this is what happened earlier today when they burned this vehicle to the ground. That kind of kicked off what's going on now.
It's just an exuberant expression of their First Amendment rights, Joe.
I was going to say it's mostly peaceful.
I'll tell you, this looks exactly like what we teach in the community security class. Those of you who were just in it last week, when I pointed out that 6 road flares with one in the center, you light the one in the center and it will burn a car completely down to the rims. That's exactly what happens here. But if you get 6 road flares, tie them together with one in the center, it works as a thermite grenade on a car. I say that only if you have to abandon a car in a really bad scenario.
It's just something you've seen happen in the wild, Joe.
Hey, so this video is a good time for me to bring up a fun little game we're playing. If you guys spot a single American flag in any of the videos we're watching, point it out, call it out. Because I'm telling you right now, I have hours of video to go through, and I've yet to see one.
But not on a police officer's uniform. That one doesn't.
That obviously that doesn't count. Come on. But that's not the only fire. We do have a little bit else going on in a few other places. They've set a few of these electric scooters on fire, as well as some other things. This was in front of the Home Depot, which we'll get into here in a minute. But there was a false report of an ICE raid at a Home Depot, when it turns out that ICE just was renting a building nearby at Home Depot to help coordinate operations.
Yeah, the ICE one. Actually, the other, that one was in Minneapolis. There was one at the Home Depot here in LA, and that one is the one that turned out like Benny Hill, where there were people running in every direction because all of the day laborers hanging out outside. So.
This is another angle of that same fire in front of the donut shop. I think this might be symbolic. Maybe they've decided to pick this donut shop because donuts.
Man, that's hateful.
I know.
Bugatti says, so I heard the rooftop Korean signal has been lit. Actually, yeah. Tony Moon said if you burn one Korean business, it will be. Oh, yeah, and by the way, you see the donut sign right there? All you guys were having a discussion in the CFC fan chat. I'm very disappointed in you because you mentioned every movie that thing is in except The Golden Child, which is the best movie that it's in. It's your life and go watch The Golden Child tonight. Well, not tonight. You're watching us tonight.
This was good. This was mostly for entertainment. Have you guys seen this yet? Some people thought they were... This was from yesterday, not today. But some people thought they were going to step in front of the Bearcats.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Dude almost learned. I'm going to put a tire in front of the Bearcat. That'll stop it.
I mean, really, at this point, the OC's more for your protection than the Bearcats.
Correct. Oh, they're gonna roll right over that trash can too.
So you saw the thing I posted this afternoon about the Navy's put four frigates down in Gulf of Mexico and off the coast of Mexico.
I did.
I we added a destroyer too.
I kind of think there's something going on here, and there's going to be some pressure applications, and this may be one of those kind of precursor behaviors that you see when organized entities like the cartels understand that they're about to have to deal with an end of time scenario for themselves.
I'm wondering if those are for maybe some interdiction activities, checking to see what sort of materials might be in ships bound for Western Mexican ports.
And that will kick Taiwan off so fast nobody can imagine.
That might be what the frigates are for, but parking the coal there. destroyer with a lot of vertical launch tubes means something more spicy is probably going to happen to cartel leadership.
Well, as I said,
yeah, you know what? NCMAXD, you're correct. The Gulf of America. You are correct.
Thank you. I am deeply sorry,
Although
Chad.
I believe we have a memo on that. It is the Gulf of Bucky's.
Well, yeah, I mean, soon. So, hashtag Bucky's TM. Real quick though,
everything's better than brisket.
As long as we're talking about things getting spicy, I do have a short little fun clip about somebody learning about how spicy things can be.
So those, let me tell you about those wood batons, because we have in this class. They're made of maple. They're not made of, just something soft. Those suckers are solid and they hurt.
Yeah, they're probably still made in northern Maine, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those things are legit.
The Riot Baton 101 is a lovely device.
That guy's an absolute unit, dodging the fireworks and
yeah. Watch him pull. Watch him draw. It's so good. Is it just me or have the pepperball guns got better?
Yeah. He gets out the fogger. Boom. Nicely done.
Yeah, there's a lot of Glencoe training going on in the streets now. It's good to see. Hasn't been used in about 4 or 5 years, but it's good to see.
Now, I will say that the rioters do seem to be taking on a pro-Luddite stance. One of the first things that they've appeared to have done was lit up and vandalized these Waymo self-driving taxis. And that does kind of make sense.
Wow. That's one of the problems with driverless cars, right? You don't know when somebody's messing with the car.
Yeah. And what is that if not mobile surveillance? So to Antifa, that's just another journalist. Oh, Lance Corporal Veteran, you're in California? I mean, don't dox yourself, friend, but stay safe. Oh, you're working in San Francisco. All right, yeah. Well, then again, I don't know that that's safe from this. San Fran might pop off. Who knows? But yeah, they got hit pretty good from what I was seeing. So it's also a very interesting way to create a roadblock, actually, if you think about it. Summon several of those to one location and then vandalize them in such a way that they can't move.
Well, one of the things that I teach for setting up a roadblock at the end of your road as an entry control point is deflate the tires on the vehicle so it can't be easily moved. And that's essentially what ended up happening with the burned out vehicle. It now sits in the center of the intersection on rims and cannot be moved. So,
yeah, but
now without a major effort.
You'd need a really good knife for that, Joe.
It was funny trying to watch the kid on the dirt bike move it with his dirt bike.
It really was funny. What a moron.
So you'll notice that when they decide to apply the CS, they are pretty liberal with it. You don't see very many 1 or 2 canister deployments out of these guys. They seem to be doing whole volleys, which I thoroughly approve of.
Well, I think this is interesting from the perspective of the LA Sheriff's Department is finally getting let off the chain, right? And they're gonna be pretty aggressive and actually probably release some pent up frustration here, and I'm here for it, right? I'm all about it.
Hey, I've got a $2 from random PNW guy. He says, "What's the second order effects of this? Does the National Guard put down the riots and scare off the Summer of Love, or will this be used to escalate another Antifa adjacent? Adjacent on the streets."
No, I think that either way it's going to escalate. If they put it down hard, that gives Antifa ammunition for next Saturday when they do their anti-Trump riots. If they don't put it down, it gives Antifa momentum. Go ahead, Jim.
It gives them national justification.
Right.
So that's what they're looking for. So this, if you notice, there are some pre-printed signs available, but the piece that popped today that I found to be the reason I wanted to be on the call with you guys is that SEIU stepped forward almost immediately, and that doesn't happen without nationwide coordination. And they arrested that SEIU leader, and my guess is that that's kind of a leading indicator that it is a national issue.
Can you elaborate on that? What's SCIU?
It's Service Employees International Union. It's a union that appears to want to support illegal immigration and illegal migrant labor. So they're trying to organize them in LA. They started very early on trying to organize them in the fashion industry. So when you go to some of these little higher end fashion organizations in LA that source products in LA, they make them in LA, and it's mostly illegal migrant labor. And that's right around where this Paramount location is.
So let me see if I can find this, but I know that I pulled up a thread earlier that I was going to, we were going to get into, but let's grab it if I can find it. Because apparently, gosh dang it, what's her name? The deaf lady who's been kind of, in a good way, spurging out about Doge and various other government things online. Data Republican.
Oh yeah, Data Republican. I'm not certain that that's even a real person, but we'll see.
Could be, but whoever it is did a thread behind this. Who's the money and funding behind the anti-ICE riots in Los Angeles? So she did this pretty interesting thread and looked into it. And so we've got a number of NGOs that have been implicated. The Coalition for Human Integration Rights, or CHIRLA, and the photos show signs that were printed by PSLWEB, the Party for Socialism and Liberation. CHRLA has been the, she's got their EIN, and she starts tracing a bunch of funding and where that's all come from, which some of it is like almost $500,000 of its federal grants, fund days. Let's see. Party for Socialism and Liberation is a nonprofit, literally a communist front. Looks like their financials aren't readily available. Answer Coalition. I've heard about them popping up a lot lately.
Oh no, they've been around forever. Answer is the guys who did New York Occupy Wall Street. They're an affiliate and co-owned, managed by Acorn. They're part of the Chicago Marxist movement. They're part of the American Socialist movement. These are all the same people, same money bag. These are the useful idiots described by the Soviet Union. That's what we're dealing with again. And they've been kind of laying dormant like anthrax spores in our cities. And for some reason, higher education and foreign powers have added money to it, along with really misguided, stupid American billionaires. And
speaking of, looks like Neville Singham or Singer is the main one behind this one.
There you go.
And that's what's important is PSL. So Elias Rodriguez was a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. PSL is involved in all of this. They're literally killing people. So we've been warning about PSL for years, and it kind of fell on deaf ears until they shot some people at the museum.
The shitball out of Chicago. And again, Chicago. Going back to the Weathermen, it comes from the same place. Who was educated in Chicago and ended up becoming a president of the United States?
Eagle Ray wants to know if Palantir is going to ID and hunt down all these rioters. Oh, I think they're going to be told to, and then I think
over the next few years, over the next few days. Yeah. So if you look at ADSB right now, there are several unmarked aircraft flying racetracks over the riot.
Let's get to that one.
Every cell phone that is there, everything that emits, cell phones, smartwatches, everything you got. And they are tracking that info. It's
they're going to be a couple of Cessnas and a nice Dash 8, and it'll be circling for the next 12 hours, and they'll swap out.
So we've got. Oh, go ahead.
No, to all the morons in LA. be careful what you ask for. This is a bad idea. Go
And
home.
let me address something in the chat. Patrick, I know where you're going with that. I hope they treat it like J6. Listen, actually, we don't. We don't cheer on police state actions, no matter who they're against, because it will eventually be turned back to you. So let's hope they put the riot down, and we don't. I don't want to advance the surveillance state just because they're going up against people I don't like. I don't advocate for them at all.
Agreed, but as long as we're there, let's. Oh, oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's look into this one because this is very interesting. Somebody asks, would a Faraday bag stop that? Well, it might stop a lot of things, but it's not going to stop what's in this picture. You see, this is an ISR bird. This is a Beechcraft scorpion. In the belly of that Beechcraft scorpion is at least one, if not a series, of incredibly high-resolution cameras. That scorpion climbs up to a specific flight, hovers there, and runs these little racetracks all night long. And then what they do is, if you do something naughty while it's flying overhead, they figure out exactly what time and where you did it, and then they track you back in time through those pictures that they were taking once per second to figure out where you came from, and then they follow you forward in time to figure out where you went.
And that's exactly what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. And as far as the Faraday bag, let me explain another thing about your phone. If you're going to put it in a Faraday bag, they stopped letting you take the battery out for this very reason. Even if I put it in a Faraday bag, the bag knows where it went in. I mean, the phone knows where it went into the Faraday bag, and it has a gyroscope and inertia sensors. So it knows roughly where you went, even though it's in a Faraday bag. It can guess where you went based on the inertia and movement of the bag. And then when you turn it back on, and it uploads all that data. So the answer is don't take devices with you.
Or, I mean, at the very least, look, man, if you like legitimately need devices to do whatever it is you're going to do, you hand build them with only the exact capabilities they need to do and no other external communication capabilities. It's not that hard to do either.
Simple is good.
Yeah. So someone's saying that there's a little bit more activity going on. Do we have any of our...
Yeah, let me grab the live streams.
Yeah, let's grab some live feeds and see what we can see. We've got several of them all around the area, and there's a lot of action going on. It's just getting darker out there.
They've formed a shield wall. Oh, fun. All three of them. You remember being 5 and building the fort? Wasn't it the best?
There's concertina wire between them and the cops. You can see it in the headlights.
There sure is. You know, a little sea wire would have stopped so many terrible instances in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but George Soros's writers began to talk about it. The second you see the anytime George Soros people start writing about this stuff, it becomes razor wire, right? They immediately go to the word razor wire. It's how you identify their content.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be interesting, though, to see the number of Chinese Americans arrested overnight. Because what I've been finding in a lot of these, at the center, you've got a Chinese agitator.
Isn't that weird?
Crazy. Crazy.
Let me check some of these other live streams. So, hey, has anybody yet to spot a single American flag? Oh, it doesn't count. It was at the courthouse.
It's at the courthouse.
Yeah, that's at the courthouse. That does not count.
Oh, here. This is transitioning from one location to another and still live streaming. Let me get some audio on this. It sounds like they have police radio going. I'm going to turn it on, so caution.
Rogers, you're recording a specific incident. You incident?
Nothing major. We'll check in and see where they arrive at. And here's another angle on the courthouse.
Are we having a drinking game? What are the rules? Oh boy. All right. So for every righteous gassing, you have to take a shot.
Oh yeah. If they get clouded, that's probably a good bet. I don't know. That could get dangerous later on, but for now.
Oh, look at the Yukon. Gotta love this.
Hey, I pointed something out in the CFC fan chat, and I want to mention it again. Count the number of cars going by that have "Viva la Raza" written on them. "Viva la Raza" means "Long live the race." La Raza used to be a Hispanic advocacy group, and they had to change their name because turns out calling yourselves the race is Hispanic supremacy. But we can't say that in here. No one will mention that. No one on the media will bring it up. They would bring up somebody who had something that said white power on it, but they won't bring up the race. It's a very interesting thing. Kind of like nobody talks about Black Hebrew Israelites.
Isn't that weird?
A little spicy action right there. That looks like someone's firing fireworks at them, at the police.
So, Joe, given your years of experience looking at crowds, where's this one go?
Right now, they look like they're in a containment pattern. It doesn't look like they're ready to push people yet. Although the concertina wire coming out tells me that there's going to be a push made from some direction, and they don't want them to go that way. So you generally don't pull out the wire until you're within 2 hours of a push. So I would watch for a push from behind this crowd somewhere to try and make them go either right or left away from this area, but not straight back. They're going to try to turn them 90 degrees, in other words. That's why the wire is out that we haven't seen all day. They're not just going to hold them. They're going to try to push them in some direction.
So is this LA activity a delaying act by the Mexican cartels and the Mexican mafia and the California prisons to delay an action in Mexico that they know is coming?
Yeah, I will guarantee you, that's a really good point, Jim. I will guarantee you that a couple of those planes are specifically watching for specific cell phone numbers to pop up, making calls to Mexico or to the border region adjacent to Mexico. And if that happens, you might learn why those Navy ships have made the unusual movements they've made.
Yeah. So is this a attempt to underlie the decision to take action in Mexico? If you're better than 50-50, what do you think?
I think this is to justify some action.
Yeah.
I think that they knew they would get this reaction specifically in Los Angeles. When the thing happened in Minneapolis, they didn't get the same reaction because it's not the same crowd, right? And there it turned up not even being immigration activity that everyone responded to. Here, it's actual immigration activity. Here, they knew they would get this response by this particular group of people. What the interesting crossover is, though, is despite the number of Mexican flags, and I've seen a couple of Salvadoran flags, El Salvadoran flags, there's a couple of Gazan flags too, which is interesting.
That's going to be the kind of Antifa professional protester. It's Saturday. I got nothing to do. I'm going to leave my multi-million-dollar condo on the west side that Daddy paid for and drive over to the get in the crowd, have fun. A lot of those in LA.
Yes.
A lot of those in Washington D.C. A lot of those in Boston. So this is where the mix is getting kind of nasty. You've got all these delusional kids who are useful idiots, kind of climbing on the bandwagon. And
they have money and a love to travel too. That's why we generally refer to that sort as travelers. That's why you end up finding them in stuff like what happened in Kenosha and other out of the way nowhere towns.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. I can put it. So my newly 64-year-old bones are beginning to rattle. Let's put it that way.
Alpha Omega says you're watching Kirshi earlier. Love Kirshi. She's awesome. Group had a Burkina Faso or whatever flag. Huh.
Listen, I want a Burkina Faso flag just because Major Terrari is the king of drip. My man knows how to wear a good-looking uniform.
Hopefully it was some young SOCOM guy who just decided to go out and fuck around with the crowd, you know?
So multiple people have said, and I've seen this as well, that the Antifa channels that I still have access to are all telling people to get black blocked up and come out after dark, quote, with tools. So things could get interesting.
Yeah, so that would be good. That would be fun to watch. The crowd does appear to be growing a little bit, but so does the police presence, right?
It's a weekend, man.
So what happened was last night this started and got kind of violent. And when LAPD didn't respond, the sheriff's department kind of picked up the torch and came to the rescue. But what's important to note here is that once the federal government said, hey, LAPD, where are you at? LAPD immediately issued a statement and said, look, we're not coming and we're not supporting what you do. That is troublesome. And then the mayor came right out and said it too. Go ahead, Jim.
So this is where you unfund LAPD. This becomes a rational defunding of what has become a broken entity. If they refuse to respond, and what everybody has to remember is the police don't necessarily have to respond to do civil disobedience response. They have to respond for their brother officers in this region as well. And if LAPD isn't showing up and they're throwing the DSO under the bus, and you know what's really interesting is I have not seen one CHP car. All right, and go all the way back, Rodney King, go back to 68, 67. They usually show up for this kind of shit. Where are they? And we know the answer to this question, right? So we have a leadership problem in California, and I think it just suits them to try to force this issue at this point. And they're calling out Donald Trump, and they're calling out the central government of the United States. And I think at the core of this are some really, really bad actors. And Gavin Newsom is just a rube. But I think ultimately the Mexican cartels are going to pay dearly for what's going on in California. It's my guess. So we'll see.
Speaking of where are they, is everyone familiar with the concept of Chekhov's gun? Huh? So Chekhov's gun is a principle in writing and theater that says that if a gun is displayed somewhere in a scene, earlier in a play, at some point in the play, the gun absolutely must go off. There's no option but to. You build the tension of the gun being there. The gun must at some point go off. And here we have Chekhov's brick.
Chekhov's brick.
Yeah, so these are out behind the Home Depot right now.
And then if you turn around, that's where the police line is currently as well.
Oh yeah.
You know what's really funny is these guys were just staging for a warrant arrest, and the crowd feels obligated to go apeshit, right? So this is the result of years of undermining police capabilities in places like LA, New York, Boston, Chicago, Seattle, Portland, Denver. I mean, I feel really badly for the policemen on the scene. This they're going to catch a lot of shit for this, and everybody's climbing on board with why are the ICE guys wearing balaclavas? It's like, I don't like going home and having my neighbors come up to me and say, I didn't know you were doing all this bad stuff. It's like it's their job, right? It's the law. They're out solving the problem. The problem is we have 20-some million people we can't afford to support living here because they want to live here. I love them. They want to live here, but we can't afford to support them living here. And it's about time to send them back to their countries because their countries are not unlivable. They're here as economic refugees, right? And, more power to the kid who makes it from Southern Sudan to the United States. I got time for him. but somebody comes from Guatemala or El Salvador or Nicaragua and wants to live here because it's just easier to get a job. And I don't go there anymore. It's time to end that cycle.
Agreed. Now I've got I've got 2 videos for you. This is a shot chaser. Yeah, pretty sure everybody saw it today. Now that is assault with a deadly weapon. But if I was to make a guess, what the direct response to that was, I'd say it was this Fox News clip we'll watch. It's about 1 minute and 30. Got audio, gents.
And, like I said many times, these elected officials or these non-government organizations, they can't cross the line either. I mean, we got people like, Hakeem Jeffries saying he's going to dox ICE employees, ICE agents out there with masks on. They're wearing masks to protect themselves and their families because they've been doxxed, their families been doxxed, their life's been threatened, their families have been threatened. I know myself, I had over 1,000 protesters in my house. I expect that as the borders are, but these men and women are putting their lives online every day. They arrested a lot of bad people yesterday and today. They arrested child sex offenders. They arrested people convicted of robbery. They arrested public safety, not only significant public safety threats, but national security threats. They arrested gang members. We're making Los Angeles safer. And Mayor Bass ought to be thanking us for making her city safer. And the term migrant, as Joe Concha rightfully said earlier, they're illegal aliens. There are illegal aliens in this country, and we welcome. We're the most giving country in the world. But these are illegal aliens who committed a crime by crossing this border illegally, then yet committed another crime. Again, yesterday's about a criminal investigation into money laundering, tax evasion, and some of the funds going to cartels in Mexico and Colombia that fund their operations of sending narcotics to this country, killing American people. This is about enforcing the law, and again, we're not going to apologize for doing it. We're stepping up. She says they're going to mobilize. Well, guess what? We're already ahead of the game. We're already mobilizing. We're going to bring National Guard in tonight. We're going to continue doing our job. We're going to push back on these people, and we're going to enforce the law.
And boy, is that going to cause a serious amount of gas on the left. Watch the Sunday shows. The Sunday shows will have the shrill left-wing Democrat talking points about Donald Trump attacking the Constitution. And at the heart of it is the fact that we have criminal enterprises operating in our major cities.
There's a guy pouring the water like I just mentioned. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Come on, man. Don't waste time calling out pouring water. Just wait for the soy milk. Okay, you get a bottle of soy milk. The knife.
You didn't say nut milk that time.
Yeah. All these freaking people are nut milk. All right, this is the definition of social nut milk right here. This is the cartels, guys. This is the battle between keeping our streets and cities safe, stopping fentanyl, and understanding that the cartels are causing most of the violence in the state of California, most of the drugs in the state of California. And they operate in conjunction with prison gangs out of the prisons in California, both federal and state. And we've known this for decades. And yet, for some reason, DC has a symbiosis with this. They can't stop it. And it has a lot to do with the politics of the state of California. So I'm hoping within this action, we're able to break that cycle and kind of recover California. I'm very hopeful.
And if we're unable to, then we'll just reconquer California.
Well, there's always time to put a governor general to work, right? So we just have to decide who becomes the governor general of California. I'm sure there are lots of general officers in DC right now who'd be great governor generals of California.
Boy, the West Coast reconstruction period is going to be
it is terribly sad what we're seeing. And what it says is we've waited too long for this cleanup, right? LA is a failed city. Everybody knows it. They watch the fires. Gavin Newsom is a freaking clown. He is underlaid by wealthy Marxist socialist idiots. And we're at the stage where it's time to fix it. So I hope people go fix it. I'm very hopeful because I love California. Wouldn't live there if you paid me unbelievable amounts of money. Couldn't get me to go there. And I do love the place, right?
Oh, so it looks like we've got a statement from the White House. I'll actually pull it up on my own.
Well, let me address the questions being asked about Posse Comitatus real quick, because this is something I actually had to work on throughout my entire military career and afterward. Posse Comitatus only attaches to federal troops. It doesn't attach to state troops operating under state orders. Right now, we have them federalized. But Posse Comitatus does not apply if the president issues a declaration that this is an insurrection. Once he declares an insurrection, Posse Comitatus goes out the window.
Has there been a precedent of claiming insurrection in the last few years, Joe? Have people squealed? Have people squealed about brawls? Gotta be.
So I think the last time Donald Trump did not invoke it because he didn't want to be seen as a dictator. Now they're calling him a dictator either way. He's going to invoke it. So I wanted to get that out before you release a statement from the White House in case that's what it was. What's the statement?
He says, God bless the brave men and women of local and federal law enforcement and the National Guard working to restore law and order in Los Angeles. We stand with you, and the chaos ends now.
All that they need is a presidential proclamation that this is an unlawful assembly, and then Posse Comitatus does not apply.
Lance Corporal Veteran says future conflict will be to preserve the Union from foreign-sponsored seditionism. Yeah, I'd say that's current conflict.
It's very well articulated.
This is actually an interesting moment in history, right? Not only do we have this riot going on, but for the first time, we have the governor protesting the activation of his own National Guard and telling people to resist it. Well, it might not be the first time. Might have happened around 1859, 1860, but interesting.
Well, you got all these people from foreign countries who are in servitude in LA County, and it's clear that there's a lot of money being made on this, and it's being subsidized by taxpayer money, subsidizing Medicaid payments, SNAP payments, immigrant payments. And what's happened is the country has realized how many billions of dollars are going into supporting this economic inefficiency, I think is the way to describe it. And
hold on, just a moment. I'm sorry, I have a statement here from Gavin Newsom. Here.
What are you doing?
Me? Just hanging around.
Huh. Interesting.
the funny thing is this is over in Paramount, and the folks in Compton are probably sitting on their front porch right now going, check this shit out.
So I did have a report.
No idea what's coming.
I did have a report from Compton earlier. Let me look at this. Hold on. Let me see here. CHP is sending additional resources to Los Angeles. SecDef is hinting Marines from Pendleton might be mobilizing. Pendleton? Come on. Give my boys in 29 Palms some fun. Then there's a new area of unrest forming, this time at the intersection of Alameda and Aliso. We've been watching that one. Protesters celebrate pushing police back, lighting fireworks near the car they set on fire. Oh, we should watch. We'll pull that video up in a second. It's pretty good. Gosh dang it. Yeah, I need to find it, but somebody reported in from Compton. Oh, a car was set on fire in Compton.
Must have been some bad barbecue, man. Somebody's acting out.
I'm also seeing an increase. My source on the ground is saying that they are seeing an increase in anti-ice graffiti in the Compton Bell area, which you don't get to put much up there unless it's by the.
Yeah, you got to
just say the local comedian, the local communities.
You gotta have friends. Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch this. This is actually a big test of American society. I hope the elders in the community in East LA ask the kids to get out of the streets. And that's one of those things that's happened in Compton before. I hope it happens, because this is not going to be good, and wouldn't be good for the country, wouldn't be good for the families they have. And so you hope the elders in this community do something. But my guess is there's a hell of a lot of money flowing in from outside sources to inflame this issue. And the answer coalition stuff you saw is sadly a leading indicator of when things get ugly.
Just a brief ad break. If you guys haven't done so already, please take a moment, like the video, give it a share out to different people. Yeah, repost the stream. Thank you guys very much. I'm seeing you guys do that over on X. We really appreciate you.
That flag does not count. It
Yeah.
was American flag. I want to back up Jim's point here. Compton, where this is unfolding right now, is probably the one place where you could end up with a major street battle by the morning that actually involves guns and not rocks, right? That's a pretty dangerous mix. We shall see what happens.
See, this is the difficulty with social disorder in a place like LA or New York, is you have this political action stuff that's going on here, right? And so Antifa is flooding in from around the country to get in the game. Money's flowing in to get in the game because they want to take Trump down. Will cause people in the criminal milieu to go out and try to take advantage of it, to do things they want to do. Or they'll just feel kind of left out, or they'll feel like their authority is being overridden by new groups, right? Read the Antifa people coming in and agitating. And it puts at risk the business model, which is we're going to sell drugs, we're going to do prostitution, we're going to move people.
Well, and I actually wonder how much of this, here would be a good analysis, and I'd like to hear what both of you would think about this. I had heard that the local gangs, which are largely black gangs and Hispanic gangs in that area, had been pushed out by cartel activity. And that's why we got so much of those riots and looting, was because they were forced into the lower tier criminal activities, which turns out to be stuff like looting. I'm wondering how much they would support this, just given that it then allows them to resume their old money-making activities.
Well, no, there's so that's what I'm saying is there are going to be turf battles inside this instability that will just contribute to violence. And I think probably most of it, so I'm going to guess the murder rate will jump 20 to 30% in the next couple of weeks. Joe, you think rational number? Yeah. Most of that will be, turf battles between organized crime entities in the background. It won't be these people in the street, right? These people in the street are the useful idiots. They're part of nonprofits that make their bank off the money that flows out of the U.S. government to support illegal immigration. And that's been cut off. So all of these people are saying, oh, how am I going to live? Because I'm not getting my money from the nonprofit funded by USAID at all. And they're under distress. I give them that. You're under distress. But guess what? For the next 3.5 years, you're not getting a penny in that channel, right? Your service business is over, young person. Go find a real job, because being an activist for illegal immigrants in LA is a really bad place to be unless you're a really powerful lawyer backed by big money. Those cases will go to court. The people who are on the street kind of going around patting people on the back and making $150,000 a year because it's LA, that's over. That was all federal money, so it's gone now.
Real quick, we do have a traffic advisory from the LA Central Traffic Division, which is avoid the area of Alameda between Temple and Aliso due to federal police action. That would be the second cam. I'll pull that up here in just a second.
Even in
real quick, I want to do
is cowardice, right? Even that statement, they reveal their cowardice to say federal police activity. It's not us. we're not there. So they're trying to stay away from it.
Very true. I just want to make a quick reminder of the rules in my chat. We don't have many rules. The one rule we do have is no spamming. So. This would be that area where they just called that. Now, which is funny because this has apparently been shut down for hours. We got Federal Protective Services.
So, the FPS. One of my favorites.
The only guys who've ever pulled me over.
So, really?
Seriously.
That's telling.
Barack Obama tried to make them your national police force.
Oh, dear God.
And it did not happen. So
I believe this is outside of a federal prison or a federal lockup.
Recognize the windows.
Yeah. It looks like people are
in the chat though. As we begin this drinking game and this night, do I go with Coors Banquet because I live in the Mountain West and that's what we do, or do I side with the other people and go with a Topo Chico Margarita?
Oh, that's basically a White Claw. You know that, right?
Somebody left him here last week, so.
Oh, that's true. You get all the free. You're basically Bigfoot. You get all the free leftover camper beer.
Well, Joe, the fact that people have vouched for you as a straight man, I would say you have to find a bottle of bourbon somewhere in that building. Got to be there.
For the record, we went with the Coors, just so you know.
Ooh, good choice.
Actually, I hadn't had a banquet for a long time, Joe. But out there, I had a banquet with you guys a couple weeks ago. That was a very nice. It was a really enjoyable beer. I enjoyed it. It
really is, especially when a bunch of guys just hanging out, sitting there. For those who don't know, Jim and Stan were chilling right here in my kitchen the other day, and with
wait! Look! We got one! Go back! Oh, fuck you! Go back! We have a U.S. flag
at the federal
bureau. Oh,
right there.
Are you sure it's not Dominican? It's not Dominican.
No, it was. He'll pan back here in a second.
It's not Liberia.
No, I'm surprised myself, but there you have it.
Joe loves Liberia. Joe, is that a Liberian flag?
It was very close, but it was not a Liberian flag.
Here we go. He's gonna pan back. So some street preacher, I don't know, somebody trying to. Oh, never mind. Masked up, probably. Out of your house and into the. There you go. We have one. We have spotted one.
She's probably a counter protester who's about to get smoked by somebody.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah, the kids from the West Side Shabbat have shown up to say, "What are y'all doing? Stop this nonsense. You got nothing to be angry about."
Back to Compton.
Check out, as much as I hate giving the leftists some airtime, check out Mercado Media, see what he's got going. He's usually on the protester side.
Oh.
That's a little spicy right there.
Yeah, somebody tossed a firework into the crowd.
So where is the ATF rule on using fireworks at these protests, Joe? There's got to be some rule. Right?
Mercado hasn't posted since May 7th.
No, he's live tonight.
Oh, I might be looking at the wrong page then.
Mercado Media. I will say that throwing fireworks is construed as throwing a destructive device.
Yeah, it should fall under that.
No, Diatica, it looks like an American flag, but when the light actually catches it, it's a Mexican flag. It's the light pattern on the buildings behind it that make it look that way.
Yeah, this one's a Mexican flag.
Yeah. Oh no, there is an American flag there. Oh, that's
No.
that American Mexican / one. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's the half. Let me tell everyone what happened the last time that the 1st Marine Division was deployed to Los Angeles during a riot. During the riots, the LAPD was trying to go into a house to rescue someone who was being harmed. And the LAPD made the mistake of turning to LAR Marines in their LAV and said, "Cover me," as he ran towards the building. When you tell a Marine that has a 240 mounted on there to cover me, he lays down cover fire, and they shot up a house and struck one guy, and that guy died. So,
was he the right guy?
No matter how funny it is a tragedy.
So is it the right guy they killed?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Was it the right guy that they hit?
Oh yeah, he was a bad guy, but and they only hit one person.
Fine. Speaking of people who probably deserve the old 240 treatment, here we have a couple of Kepia terrorists making up some Molotov cocktails for this evening. I think Modelo, of course, is their bottle of choice.
La Bomba
And of course,
Modelo.
we're wearing the café of the Palestinians.
Correct.
And you know what's funny about that is Home Depot's corporate security department is like, could they just get a little further away from the Home Depot bucket, please? Nicely done, PD. Bettina Rosita sewed up those Mexican American flags. That's funny. I haven't seen a single LRAD yet in all of this.
I think they're illegal in California. You can't have a vehicle with more than 10 mils of armor.
But that doesn't apply to the federal government. So I would think I would see one of those Bearcats with an LRAD up on top and making some noise.
Improbable. Actually, the LASO had something on the back of one of their vehicles. It looked like one of the high-frequency crowd control devices.
She's going to get winded talking into that thing.
This can't be now, though. It should be darker.
That's the same girl we saw earlier, or no? Oh, this video is from earlier, so never mind.
It's got to be.
She looks like an SEIU person.
It's streaming live, and they're saying that it's live, but it's way too light out for this to be live.
Yeah.
So that's the federal holding facility in LA, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Is that the police using a laser?
It is.
So this is exactly what happened in Seattle and Portland on the federal buildings. We have a redo. So, man, there's a lot of law on this. Time to just stop this, nip it in the bud.
Well, that guy's going to get talked to by a supervisor because I'm pretty sure that was not policy with the LA Sheriff's Department to lase people.
That's not the Sheriff's Department.
Oh, that's the feds.
Yeah, it'll be FPS.
That's going to be BORTAC.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah, it's probably BORTAC. And those guys in black are probably FPS. Or if they're not, if they don't have any insignia on, although they do. Yeah, that's FPS right on there. When you see the guys in black with no insignia, that's when they brought in contractors. They didn't have enough guys. Or so I've heard. I wouldn't know anything about that.
No. Anytime you're out in the heat like this and it's really ugly, you need the FDS. I recommend it highly. Can you imagine the guys inside there? They're just rocking it.
Oh, yeah, look.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Those prisoners.
you guys are working that crowd, Joe. Jesus, calm down.
Yeah, I imagine as much as there's a riot outside, there's probably a riot inside.
Yeah, no shit. But that you see, but that's what they're looking for. That's the kind of thing that they want.
Yeah.
You've seen that happen in so many countries. Just wait till the smoke starts coming out of one of those slit windows. Somebody lights their mattress on fire. That's the way the shit goes. And what's sad is it's all choreographed, right? So if it happens, it won't be surprising, shocking, unanticipated. It's kind of the progress, right? It's how it works.
So here's the thing. The money people want some protesters to die tonight. They honestly do. Because that then gives legs to a nationwide protest movement. And if you're one of the useless idiots they've got out here on the front line throwing chunks of concrete at armed men, which is never a wise choice, they're willing to trade your life for a larger movement, right?
Oh my God, gentlemen! I think I might have just found Jason Bourne.
Oh, that's Jason Bourne.
He was just coming from his dojo, and they wouldn't let him cross the street.
Hey, Watcher, see if you can find us a picture of LA City Council member Eunices Hernandez.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Ah,
By the way, thank you. Thanks for that info.
The Latin Zeppelin. It's true.
If they're connecting who it is to who I saw on camera, you're absolutely correct.
Llega la baronesa Zeppelin.
Oh my God.
Jose.
Yes. Oh my absolute. Oh, fuck. Brother.
Oh, mira, Luke.
It is her.
Yeah, that's her.
Well, that's after she began the injectables, guys. Got to go back a little bit.
Oof. Big oof.
She is a big oof. You know, this is what happens. This is what happened when AID subsidy of these NGOs that are supporting this flood of immigrants into the U.S. This is what happens when the money goes away. People get hangry. They're all hangry, man.
Yeah. What's interesting is despite the activation of the National Guard, we haven't seen any. Of course, it is going to take a couple hours to get them to vehicles, get them marshaled, to get them into where they're going. But I would think we'd have seen that by now because he made this order several hours ago.
That's because the Berkeley police and the Oakland police and the San Francisco police have all been told to go put up tape in front of the various assembly points to delay said thing. There is a massive game afoot in this violence. And just understand that people are causing this violence and stimulating this violence for their political goals. And it isn't Donald Trump, right? This has been going on. And if you don't see the pattern between Occupy Wall Street and Acorn and BLM, if you haven't been paying attention, you must not have opposable thumbs, because that's what's going on here. One more time. And so I ask that people are aware of this, knowledgeable about this, take care of your friends, but don't fall victim to the nonsense that's going to be fed to you in the next week. This is a planned, organized mass psychosis event that people will make money out of, and people will distribute money, taxpayer money, in the future from. And that's their goal. So keep it in mind.
Yeah. That's Mercado's. He's pulling from IRT Media. I don't know if we can find IRT Media and get a bigger screen.
Yeah, I'll find that.
Because that has the forbidden yellow slinky. I challenge the protesters, if you're watching this stream, walk right over and grab it. It's not real. It won't hurt.
I saw a bumper sticker
Stop
the other
laughing.
day.
You're ruining it.
I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said, "I eat power cables straight off the pole. Nature's liquor."
I hope they all go home. What do you think the odds are, Joe?
Oh, we got flankers. We got flankers. I mean, they see him. They're obviously getting fucking nailed. But what the hell? Did his shoe just fall off? Yeah, it did.
You know, you were so tactically critical.
What are they doing right there? Are they coming out of the back of that vehicle?
The kid lost his Birkenstocks?
Who is in that car? Why is there a walker right here?
That's the police telling them to get out. They all got their hands up.
Well, that's all the media, right? That's
Well,
the black.
allegedly.
Yeah, it's black bloc media, right?
Yeah.
So what is that?
Is there any audio?
What are they using as a compound now, Joe? Is it CS?
Right now, the police will be using CS. Once the
Seriously,
military-
are they really allowed to use it? I thought it was like forbidden now.
It is, but these guys likely don't care, and they probably got it handed to them by the feds who can have it.
So they're just worn out.
It's illegal, I think, in Minnesota and California and like Washington State. But I think they just got booted from somewhere.
Oh, so they've been told to leave private property?
Yeah, right. So we're just going to deface this business that has nothing to do with anything.
Where have we seen that behavior before? Weird.
Are we in a Korean? Are we in a Korean strip?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is this a Korean strip
baby.
mall?
Look at the helmets. Okay.
Somebody
Yeah.
call Tony Moon.
I will
Now-
point out that Tony Moon said earlier tonight, if you burn one Korean business, it's
You burn
on.
all of it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's what you're looking at. There you go. Thank God they've survived. Now, this is what real Americans do right here.
So if you look, looks like the police have occupied the spot where they all ran from. You see that? Looks like the police line is now where they were.
Yeah, and that's going to be dangerous, though, because that back lot that they were obviously getting in and out between, that's going to be a full clearance operation. Oh, there's a fire.
Oh,
A
the
big
dumpster
fire.
is now on fire. There is
The
literally-
Antifa flag has arrived.
Oh, I see our dude is back. I'll give him a minute. I like the handmade market sign. Oh, looks like the poor cameraman just had
Just an impact.
flashbang go off and being in close proximity. Oh, you love to see it. I mean, you hate to see it. Oops.
Oh, stabilized.
I know. He's like, am I still alive? Cool. Let's keep going.
There might be a couple of so IRT Media might have a couple of cameras. I'm not sure, but I have seen a couple of black switches that do make me think that they might have a couple different cameramen that they're switching between.
We might see a Daewoo tonight. Yes. Yes, let us see one. This looks like the spot where it's going to get real hot.
Nope, never mind. Mexican market. I think it is a famous donut place. I think it's been in a lot of movies. Like a
Boy, I
lot.
wonder
of
what
movies.
was going on over there where all the lights were just flashing in the sky.
You know, so the line tomorrow is that Donald Trump's actions will have inflamed the crowd.
every talking point on the Sunday shows will direct ire at the central government.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. Tonight, it's good to watch the ground action, but tomorrow is where the political action is and where the fallout begins to happen.
They're writing the talking points as we speak. And it's going to be an overreaction by Donald Trump and all the people in D.C. And Bongino and all those guys are going to get hammered.
Yeah. Look at all these guys. I'm going to get famous for streaming right up until they get domed by a 9-banger, and that's not cool. But they're all running again. I would say the gas is highly effective.
I always liked it.
Remember earlier when you asked me what was going to happen, Jim, and I said they're going to start moving forward to push them in a direction?
Yeah, it looks like that's what's happening.
That's what's going on. So basically what you do is you run block to block, right? You find you decide what direction you want to move them. You get your control force lined up. They throw the flashbangs in the smoke. Once the crowd starts running, the officers run to the next block, hold that intersection, do it again, until you get them to that decision point, which is where that concertina is going to be. They're going to have to make a turn at that, and you'll already have one of the corners blocked off, and you're going to force them to either split into two groups, which are smaller, or force them into a kettle, a little small area where you can get them. All right, Squishy Hunter has made a new rule. If a protester takes CS to the nuts, take a shot. Pepper balls count. A pepper ball to the balls is not much fun. There's the car that was burned out earlier today, still in the intersection.
I think if a Molotov thrower lights themselves on fire, that is a full chug.
That would be too. And another vehicle fire, not a dumpster fire, but another vehicle fire. Dude needs to zoom out a little bit because there he goes. Good.
At least we've moved past the days of people streaming in vertical.
I need him to get further up, closer to the action.
He knows better. Uh-oh. Yeah, no, look, that's an actual fire, and I'm seeing fireworks.
It looks like it's about to catch the building.
Oh, those Koreans are going to get angry.
If that spreads, that's going to be pretty bad. And it looks like that dumpster is directly adjacent to that building. And I don't know if you know this, but strip malls in LA aren't exactly built to code.
Yeah. No, but I am seeing fire personnel on the ground.
I'm pretty sure that's on the roof now.
You know, they're like those little things you put the coals in your barbecue on, and they move air in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And so fire will not respond. So
I think I just saw a couple fire guys. So there's yellow hats on the ground. I don't know if that's fire or not, but they do have. Like they have
that yellow hat was a press guy.
I think the yellow hats are the Koreans. I have a feeling that fire will not respond at this point, especially LA fire.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that's not the side of the building now.
Unless somebody's new Hyundai is parked over there.
Yeah, it could be. I'm betting that those two cars that were right in front of it are on fire at this point. But we haven't seen, so we don't have to. If Kyle Rittenhouse 2.0, 3 shots. Man. Diatica, I would say sympathetic riots tomorrow and definitely next weekend. For those who don't know, there are 1,500 direct actions planned for next weekend for Donald Trump's birthday. So
I would serious? They're gonna pile on his birthday?
They're that petty.
Yep.
That's, I'm getting tired
of nice to throw him a party.
This cheeseball stuff is really beginning to irritate me.
Oh, I lost audio. Let me see if it's on my end.
No, we got you.
So I'm not getting Joe or Old Hong Kong. Chat, let me know if you can hear them.
We can all hear you.
Okay, I'm going to reload. Be right back.
You're coming in like a bit of a falsetto, but it's okay.
You're coming in broken and stupid.
Too funny. Too funny.
I just wish he had left a video. Oh, he couldn't because he had to leave.
No, he can't. He can't.
There we
He'll be back fast.
Are you back, Watcher?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Unlike us, he's not an old fud. He comes. He knows this. He knows this technical stuff, Joe.
Oh man, looks like we missed something here. Hey,
Yeah,
homie, you
pushing
don't belong in this neighborhood. I'm just throwing that out there.
You know, how much does this media flood that occurs in these events? Is that a positive, negative, Joe? I mean, you want people to see what's going on in the country, but when you got all these guys running around with cameras, live streaming stuff, what's your opinion on that?
Well, let me first point out that guy right there, the black and red thing, that's an Antifa shirt. It's just in Spanish. It's an anti-social social club. Anyway, I think that it's a double-edged sword. Antifa does not like the independent media because they want their story told, not the truth. So they don't like the live streamers in the middle, and you will see them try to discourage the live streamers. That's why the live streamers are no longer right up front. Because if they get up front, they get attacked by Antifa too, because Antifa wants their video to stop. So that's why we're seeing these long shots from way out here. And I say this all the time, that social media has become a double-edged sword for both sides. The government can't get their narrative out as well because of honest, open reporting on the ground, and neither can Antifa. So for us, it's a boon because we're getting live, raw footage from the ground. I don't care for their commentary, but I am getting live footage of what's actually happening. But it's a double-edged sword for those who are trying to shape narratives.
I think that's true, but I will say that I think more than anything else, if your narrative is aligned with the truth, then it's a good thing. If you're trying to do any kind of manipulation or even any kind of spin or padding, then you've got to view it as a bad thing, because anytime something happens, you're basically your job gets much harder if there's a live stream of it happening. I can't tell you how many people that were just completely brain broken leftists that I finally drug out of it through my Riot streams all through 2020. Because they did not see any of that was happening all over America.
Man, the white suspenders and sleeveless shirt, living out his 1980s cholo fantasy. He was really feeding the stereotype right there. The National Guard has arrived and are preparing to deploy. I would like to know who it is.
It'll be their quick reaction MP forces.
Let's also switch. So I think this is probably where they'll send him given the fire. But looks like hold on, let me see if I can get that helicopter, because that helicopter is likely a news helicopter.
No, it's likely not, because I believe the airspace is closed. That's likely a DHS helicopter or sheriff's department. It's not LAPD.
Oh, that's right. LAPD got waved off.
I don't see a lot of drone activity either, so I think the airspace is probably closed.
Apparently, this fire is near the LAX firing range, says PD.
LAX?
That's what he says. It's 924 West Manchester Boulevard, Inglewood. Hold on, let me get that pulled up.
LAX or LAPD?
Probably LAPD.
Which is Inglewood. Yep. I guess a couple guys went out to do a little practice before they got deployed. I haven't done this in about 12 years. Time to go out and practice.
Okay, let me...
So this is one of those days you see the narcotics guys with their beards out there in uniform for the first time in 6 years. They're
Yeah.
going, oh, what the hell's going on, right?
Trying to see where that could be because I'm not seeing any strip malls near that area.
Hey, Forging Freedom, yes, we saw a couple earlier, but we've seen a lot of people in cafes. So, and those are probably the PSL folks, like the folks who are building the Molotovs. That's one of the things, Jim, like you mentioned, that Antifa doesn't want people to film, right?
Yeah.
There's a guy right there in a red one. So the significance of the red cafe versus the black is that specifically designates the PLO. It's interesting to see the red ones out there. To me, that is no different than the green Hamas headband. Makes you a combatant to me. How many of these people are just here for the spectacle?
You know, I saw that in Washington during the BLM riots, right? So nobody was going to work. All the kids who worked on the Hill and worked in the NGOs were all out behind the lines of people throwing the fire bombs at the guys trying to protect the park and the White House compound. And there's no freaking excuse for that. I'm sorry. So this social voyeurism that goes on here drives me batshit. You see a riot, go the other way, go home. And then in the morning, call your congressperson and say, you got to stop this shit. It's just bad for business, right? It's bad for the country. And
No, go ahead.
no, this is nothing. There's no justification for this garbage.
Hey, that link Juan Gringo just shared is the National Guard arriving. Oh, and they are pouring out of a building. I'm going to get that up, Watcher. The National Guard is busting out of a building.
Everything has changed now.
Attorney Nieto, we're going to let you go on this note. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time. We're going to have to move down to downtown LA as things seem to be picking up down there. Once again, we thank you for your time. Let's get to Lauren Posen, who is down there. Lauren, what are you seeing and hearing? It's looking like things are getting chaotic.
A large crowd of law enforcement come out.
We have, oh my God, we have tear gas. We have fireworks going off. Tear gas is in the air. People are dispersing. I can't see anything. I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay.
So they clearly had a platoon of MPs that were ready to go.
Yeah. That would be the local SRT, and here they come.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey guys, sorry to ruin your weekend.
No, you're making their weekend. They're about to have the best weekend they've had in a while. So,
oh man. Well, this is what you should expect, morons. Sadly. And Gavin Newsom is up there figuring out how to use this against the country, which is really tragic.
He's going to point out that this is Donald Trump attacking the citizens of California.
Yeah.
There is a lot more to this.
Let's see how it goes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, let's see how it goes. It's going to be really interesting. This, what's interesting is it's fully digital. You'll be able to see all the commentary on this and understand that much of it is architected.
It turns out that the Second Civil War will, in fact, be televised.
Yeah.
So that's the point I was going to make, that, this is, it's fun to watch the spectacle and speculate about what's going to happen, but you really are at an inflection point where there is, and I'm not trying to say this for hyperbole or anything like that, but there is a risk of this escalating into some sort of a conflict between California and the federal government, or the larger left and the federal government. Because I guarantee you're going to hear Jasmine Crockett say something absolutely moronic before morning, and AOC and all the others.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, that's like saying, I bet that when I spin this roulette wheel, it's going to land on either red or black.
Right? Water is wet. All right. Stand by. I'll be right back.
I'll take your time. Get some refreshments. Folks, again, out there, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. Go ahead and
share it out to your favorite platform if you haven't done so already. We much appreciate you. If you have videos that you'd like to share, you can post them either in the Rumble chat or you can tag me in them over on X. Much appreciated, everybody. So what do you think, Old Hong Kong? What are the chances that a lot of this is, shall we say, funded by some friends of ours that like to claim their civilization is a lot older than ours?
Yeah, I kind of think that there are pools of money that sit and wait for events to occur that they can take advantage of. And we go down the list again. It's kind of the Occupy Wall Street movement. It's the BLM movement. It's all it's Acorn Occupy. It's all the LLCs that spin out of these nonprofits. So I think you're going to see a lot of those folks showing up here, and what you'll see is printed signs, and they can't not put their brand on it, and that's the funny part for me, which is they brand the damn signs.
The part that I'm actually thinking more about is how many local California politicians all seem to make this strange trip to Beijing, or multiple sometimes, weirdly.
Yeah, I think that's a reach on a lot of them, but the way the influence happens is much like the Soviet influence. Is there's just money that flows in, so they get put in office in California based on money that came out of China. So the folks in the district, lots of PRC citizens, lots of PRC investment in California. So they've had profound influence, and you just have to look at the senators and the Congress representatives and who they've had sex with outside of marriage at all. And it's a fairly predictable model, right? And it's sad, really tragically sad. But for some reason, the folks who vote for these people are more than willing to accept it. I find it abhorrent, but okay. I'm a little different than some, but at this point, you couldn't do much worse than what's happened politically in California. And I think we're seeing the outcome of that. And hopefully there's a reconciliation. We're not going to pay for the high-speed train. And I'm just really glad that the folks from the National Guard are there. Hopefully they're really good.
I think they definitely will be. Real quick, Yorick, I just want to say thank you so much for posting that to Kirshi's Discord. And yes, I do not have super chats over on YouTube. However, if you are looking to try and donate to the channel, you can do so over on Rumble. Much appreciated.
So I had another dilemma. I just went out to the refrigerator to restock, and my choices were Modelo Negro or Wild Huckleberry from Whitefish.
I think you got to go with the Wild Huckleberry because Modelo Negro sounds like you're drinking with the enemy.
I like Modelo Negro. Good beer.
Yep.
Good beer. It's been a good beer forever. And if anybody around Christmas time gets a hold of a case of Noche Buena, it's good beer.
Well, no, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Well, only in light of tonight. I couldn't support it. That's why it's in my refrigerator, right? It's good, but tonight I can't support it.
So. All right. Well, I'll tell you, the aviation units of everybody are very busy tonight. I would love to see the FlightAware and NOTAM arguments going on right now.
Yeah, let me look that up actually.
Yeah,
the NOTAMs are going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, see if that DC-8 is still in a racetrack over LA.
Oh, 100%. And if it's not that one, it's a new one. Let's see. LAX. Oh, it's trying to charge me for it. Where's the free one again?
Where do I find that free map? So that de Havilland, I'll tell you, the de Havilland, the domestic de Havilland electronic warfare aircraft, that sucker's been around a long time. I can't imagine what that smells like.
Oh my goodness. The maintenance hours that thing's had.
That guy's like, I'm done. I'm out. It's too smoky, too dangerous.
I tell you that there's enough air traffic doing odd things that LAX, which is already a busy airport, is starting to stagger stack jets on I don't know if you've seen this where they do the figure 8 patterns.
Yeah, they do 2 racetracks. They do a north-south.
Man.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah. And their southbound lane is stacked like one aircraft coming in every looks like 5 minutes.
Juan just dropped another link, so we should see what that is.
One of these times, I'm going to make sure it pulls up off screen. It's a statement from J.D. Vance from 2 hours ago that says the president will deploy the National Guard to quell these protests, and any person who violates the law or obstructs law enforcement will be aggressively persecuted. And then we got this.
So here, that's an interesting little tidbit here. Forging Freedom TV, right? Acorn is now California Community Empowerment, ACCE, January. See, this is how it rolls, right? The LLCs just roll and roll and roll. It's all the same people, and this is their career. Their career is social disruption. It goes on and on and on. And we talk about this a lot, but for some reason, nobody seems to be able to get to the root of who funds them and who these are and where it comes from. And it's quite sad that they haven't been able to solve the problem of folks who fund people to get out in the street and burn cars. Because that really shouldn't be a calling, and it definitely shouldn't be a career path.
So the streams that we currently have all appear to be winding down. I'm going to start seeing if I can figure out a new one. I mean, I'm going to leave this one up right here because they're going to end up kettling most of the people here, I have a feeling. But
Shelby is getting the same info I am, and he just put it out. Squishy Hunter just texted that. Full kit and rifle magazines from a Marine at 29 Palms deploying to LA.
Yes.
The boys in the desert are getting called. Watcher, you must be very clean.
I am. Listen to me very carefully, all you dumb idiots in Black Bloc out in LA. If you want to understand a world of hurt, I just want you to imagine someone from the Lake Bandini swim team getting called in off a weekend liberty and being told, hey, guess what? Full kit, midsummer, going down to LA, time to kick some ass. He is both so angry and so excited. I mean, seam-splittingly excited. Just prepare yourself. That's all I'm saying. Have a good time, kids.
Yeah, for the record, the first time they arrived without magazines and then had to issue them later. Apparently, we're just going to shortcut that. I would challenge, too, that LA is a little bit more dangerous. So
I would say it's a practical change in leadership, Joe. You've had a practical change in leadership in the Department of Defense in the last 6 months?
Well, and SecDef, having been there and done that, knows better, right?
Real quick, I've got a $10 from York Tarleton who says, from the one who Joe called your twin in Florida when you didn't show up, shame. Yeah, I'm sorry, particularly if you were in Montana this most recent time, had a family emergency pop up, actually.
Look, you and York could be twins, except you are way taller than York.
Let's see. ForeFlight has nothing in the means of TFRs up. Thank you for the $1, Philip Coglins. Thank you so much for the $10, York Tarleton. Appreciate both of you. Yeah. My favorite flight tracker OSINT thing, which I was pulling up stuff from earlier, she apparently had a previous engagement this evening. And so she was like, well, sorry, folks. That's what you get. I'll see you tomorrow. So we'll see what we can find. Yeah, the Marines are going to have a field day. You're totally right. It's going to be a time. Let's see what we got on the old live streams, shall we? Oh, did Agenda Free TV end? No, he's actually, so we're going to go to Agenda Free TV and he's talking about some helicopters.
The one might be a different helicopter.
That's just the heartbeat from ADSB.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what website he's using.
What's that?
I said I need to figure out what website he's using.
ADSB Exchange.
It looks like Flight Radar 24.
Oh, is he using Flight Radar 24?
On it. Oh, there we go. Very nice. Full screen.
A lot of these are no longer live.
Let's see. Yeah, that's what I was saying. All but the one live stream that's there where they're probably going to get kettled have gone offline.
Okay, so we saw some eggs being thrown at the vehicle. Now he is just, partly ran over by the SUV. Yeah, there goes.
I've got some audio from something there.
That was me. I apologize.
Oh, okay. No, you're fine. I was hunting for my window that was playing it. I was like, where is that coming from?
Maybe a lot of them hit their live limits.
Could be. I think probably they're starting to see a lot. If more Antifa's on the ground. Okay.
I'm getting some live. So that means IR, or no, it doesn't say IRT Media anymore. I don't know where he's getting it from.
So I do still have IRT Media, but he's just chilling over in this corner of the parking lot, and the police are slowly moving up as they secure that site where the fire was.
Well, Mercado has a different view up now, but doesn't say who it's from. That's the bottom one over there in the private chat. And yes, the wild huckleberry is good, guys.
Oh, no.
Huckleberry's a good fruit, man. Not enough people outside of the Pacific Northwest know about it or appreciate it, but it's good stuff.
You know, I'm just a beer purist. I'm kind of in the German school of beer.
So that's ABC 7 is what he's got up there. Let's get that.
Okay. Because I was going to point out that when I mentioned right there, they're blocking off an intersection to prevent anyone from taking it. That's them trying to force them down that other road when they get to them. And Andy No has video of somebody firing fireworks at the ICE facility.
Oh, yeah, I'll pull that up here in just a second. Real quick, $20 from Captain Corgi. I was honestly worried that Trump would sit on the banks of the Rubicon and dither and pick his nose again, like Trump 1.0.
He did not.
Yeah, maybe I can be optimistic this time. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but but it does appear to be better.
You know, the funnier videos, I sent you a little link of a guy trying to backstep very fast in front of a Chrysler product driven by DHS guys. Watcher. I don't know where these kids get the idea they can play these games. It's just, it eludes me. I would have been much smarter than this at their age.
Smoke and Scan has a stream of the police lining up.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
Well, I'll find it. Give me a second. Give me just a second there. It's your link is not pulling up for me, but I'm going right to the profile and seeing if I can find it there.
So, Joe, who will deploy the National Guard? When the National Guard comes out of that federal building and forms up, who's in command?
Well, it'd be whoever the president has designated as a control force commander. At this point, it's probably an active duty Army commander. And he's appointed ad hoc as these people come in, or it might be a Marine commander. I don't know, but it's going to be some sort of a federal level officer.
So
Jim, what was in the video, real quick?
Oh, it's just a guy trying to stop a white DHS Durango.
Let me see if I can.
And the guy driving the Durango just keeps accelerating, and the guy's running backwards, and he's just a moron.
Here it is. Yeah, I got it.
But this sums up what we're up against here, which is just these kids don't understand the game they're involved in at this point.
Yeah. I saw this earlier today.
No,
Man,
this
what
kind
did
of
you
sums
think
it
was
up.
gonna
It's just,
happen?
you've got this pathological narcissistic kid who's never done shit in his life, and look at him. All right, what are you doing, man? I'm going to stop you, right? And you got the kids on the scooters. It's not going to end well. Boom.
And
Okay,
the aftermath of the story is that, as you can see, his dome connected with the concrete at full speed. He has a brain injury, and it's unknown if he's going to make it.
that's $5 million right there. Boom.
It's his own fault.
The litigation stream from the legal
Patrick
guild.
says he did die. So, yeah.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, Wanda nails it. Watched it 2 or 3 times.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Is this live now?
It is, and I think this is in front of the detention
Oh, that's the one
facility.
we're just watching.
So, to put this in context for people, imagine this is your town, right? Somebody has made the decision to allow this to occur.
Yeah, to occur on that side of the line.
Yeah, completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable.
The federal troops, not the federal troops, the federal law enforcement is at a dilemma here. Their jurisdiction ends a certain distance from federal property over the general civil disturbance until the president invokes the Insurrection Act. So they can't go out and push. So that's what they're having the sheriff do.
So like Portland and Seattle, Joe. So they deploy out of their gate, right? So they drop the barriers. They deploy out of the gate because they got a vehicle coming or going, right? They get assaulted. Does that not give them the freedom to make arrests?
It only in the affected zone. So when you issue an insurrection declaration, you have to specifically give geographic boundaries of that area. The purpose for that is once you tell people, hey, if you leave this area, you are fine. Nothing will happen to you. So the answer to your question is yes, but not really, right? Yes, but there is a geographic limit to it. And earlier for the guys in the chat, remember when I said when the white trucks show up that are unmarked? There's one right there.
Hey, Chad, I got a question for you. Where do you think we're outside of LA? Where's the next riot going to be?
New York.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I would say Miami, but those people there aren't very supportive of illegal immigration.
So my take on this, guys, is this is all being choreographed. The original event happened because it was convenient, right? There were some folks who were staging for a warrant arrest, and a couple of folks got pissed off about it and began to act out in LA, which happens all the time, right? What you're waiting for now is the choreography of the national level leftist organizations trying to package this. Everything you see from this point forward is for international consumption.
Yeah, we went through a stream earlier from Data Republican about who the funding's coming from. I'll take a look and see if she's posted anything new on it.
Hey, I don't care where it is, as long as it's not Denver or Wichita that I have to pass through in the next few days.
Chirac sounds like a strong contender. I think you guys might be right, although I think the cartel has less influence there than in other places. And I would suspect that what you're looking for is places that are both leftist or have leftist district attorneys and have cartel influence overlap. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, good point. Good point. Except New York gets global attention. You get the word New York in a press release, it'll get picked up globally. and that's what everybody's looking for.
And the thing is for those people who want this to advance, saying New York and LA gives them the opportunity to say it's nationwide.
Yep. And it's all the same. The second you see Answer is involved with all of the socialist organizations that are historically based in New York.
Schley says that Philly is quiet right now. They only kill each other at Memorial Day barbecue.
The correct answer there, watchers, they just have plans for the weekend.
Is it really based in New York, or is it based out of a brown house about 12 blocks from the White House?
Yeah.
Owned by an alleged American who could be a Nigerian.
He was born in the same hospital. Born in the same hospital I was. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week.
It is.
Oh, Rick, what's going on?
Hey, good to see you, Rick.
Rick, I hope you're wearing the rebel hat tonight.
Yeah, no kidding.
There will be no Odessa.
Going to get smoked by somebody.
No, Rick will be happy to know I actually got a new straw hat. So the straw hat that Joe loves so much is broken. It died a sad death after 20 years.
That's how I knew it was you. Was that hat?
It was a good hat. I knew it well. I got a new one. We'll see how it does.
Scott was like, "What do you think it is?" I said, "I'm pretty sure it's the guy
in the Panama under the tree."
So on brand, and it was you.
Yeah, yeah. I was sitting there talking to Rick. Yep.
Oh, do you think Cash is full of shit? Full is such a relative term. I'll tell you, I've been watching some select clips from the Joe Rogan podcast that he did, and while there are some parts of it that make me want to give him an attaboy, there's a lot more questions that could have been asked, and most of the ones that mattered got dodged. So I think all the Epstein stuff, I don't know what kind of fucking game they're playing with that. Or if they've had a game played on them, but their strategy at the moment of trying to tell everybody to move on is, I don't know. I think even a first level freshman in communications could have told them that was not a winning communications strategy for gaining trust.
So what you have is a bunch of crowds, a bunch of people have nothing else to do on a Saturday night, wandering around LA. It's going to be really interesting to see the professional crew come in tonight. And I think you'll see a difference in the morning on this crowd. Question is, will enough money be thrown against this to keep them active through the week? And it is about funding. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And clearly Holman is he's keeping the pressure on, so he's going to keep making arrests. He's going to keep deporting these people. And the folks whose rice bowls get filled by federal largesse for the illegal immigrant industry are going to keep trying to fire this up. So I think that's where we're headed. That's a thin crowd.
That sure as hell is.
Those are believers, man.
Oh,
hold on, something's going on. Here we go.
Somebody got shot. There they go. Yeah.
They're kettling.
Yeah, exactly. You said that earlier. Here it goes.
Oh yeah, they're going to block both roads. Now you have one option. It probably sucks to be in traffic over on that one corner.
I was just thinking that myself. Like, oh god.
But here's the thing: if you live in a town where there is an ongoing riot, don't get out on the roads and go see. That's how you get into trouble.
Yep. Break out the bottle of bourbon, turn the TV on, get your Baofeng out, learn how to use it.
Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, you can't go that way either. Now what?
Oh, no.
Like, oh, man, you about to go to jail.
No, well, you know, Joe, the sad thing is in LA, what's going to happen is if they make arrests, most of these people will be out in the morning, and there will be swarms of lawyers from the non-governmental entities.
Oh, yeah.
With money, and they'll bail them out. You know, the stuff Kamala Harris was giving money to in Minnesota and Wisconsin and California during BLM. These kids have nothing to worry about, and
So
they've been trained not to worry.
So you've got the front police line there. Then you've got that crew walking towards the front police line. Those guys are all armed with what looks like gas launchers and pepper ball guns. And they're going to keep pushing them between these two because they want them to go up that open road where all those cars are turning around now and go that way and get out of the area. So they're doing what we thought they were probably going to do, pushing them out of the area. It's better to push them away than to actually have to arrest everyone and process them all.
That's an interesting chiron, though. Federal agents engaged. Those aren't federal agents. Those are cops, right?
Yeah, that's going to be the county sheriff or
but the chiron was federal agents. So there's a desire in the media to make this look like it's a federal event,
to make this a federal government Donald Trump thing. Absolutely,
and that's good. Watch for that mantra tomorrow on the Sunday shows. It's going to come.
And here's the thing: the jurisdiction for like the FPS generally ends 6 blocks from the protected asset. So. That's not them out there in that street. Those were all sheriff's cars and LAPD cars. So
LA County Fire Dispatch is offline.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Well, they probably have it offline so that Antifa can't pick it up on the internet.
That's the wrong
place.
Yeah, they're taking calls from one person right now, and it's the guy who has the Marine Corps and all of these other units from the National Guard under his command or her command.
Oh, hold on. There's LA County, though. Let me see if I've got anything on that. I'll pull it up if anything happens.
There's at least one dude in this crowd who's like, I was just going for tacos.
Oh, we've got more.
What's going on? What are you all so angry about?
They're throwing more fireworks.
Yeah, so the BLM riots outside the White House when Trump was in, there were these 2 blonde girls with ponytails that were in the crowd. And I can't help but try to understand what they did during the day. They clearly were not going to the office because of COVID. They were being paid. They're staying in D.C. And they were right there in the line every day. And it makes no sense to me whatsoever why young people show up to these events. I see a crowd, I go the other way. It's just my nature.
Yeah. I bet the motor in there is one of those high class joints.
So we got them. We'll come back to this in just a second. I've got an interesting clip from earlier that does show those Molotovs being used.
Oops, it didn't break. Oh, there it goes.
Yes.
Firecracker then.
These guys are all cosplaying. They think they're fighting a revolution, and they're really not doing much.
I agree with you on the cosplay thing. It's a problem, Joe.
Well, here's the thing. They're playing a dangerous game, and they think this is all, we're going to liberate our town, which has never worked in the history of ever. And they're going to end up seriously jammed up or dead.
No, this concept of liberating your town. Go get a fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Become part of the community. I mean, I have really very little tolerance for this. And for some reason in this country in the last 8 to 10 years, tolerance has become a terrible disease, right? It's like you can commit heinous crimes and there's no ramification to it. All you have to do is go in there, nod your head, and go, "Yes, Your Honor. I had a really tough childhood." Okay, see you later. Good luck, young man. You can't run a city that way. So,
I got some bad news for that legal observer in their yellow vest. That holds exactly zero legal authority. It doesn't protect you from arrest, nothing.
Yeah. I'm a law student.
So this is important. That is the LAPD actually making arrests now.
Good to see. It's very good to see. I'm glad they've been let loose. I'm sure they've been asking to be let loose because it's their city. They probably want it to be safe and, operate.
They probably got told that hey, that cool funding you got, you want to keep getting it, you need to come out.
Well, let's hope that the professional agitator class doesn't get going. My guess is the Zell transfers are fast and furious right about now. So we'll see what happens in the morning. I wish everybody luck.
Renegade Marine gets extra credit points. They didn't even read Tactical Wisdom 01. Not a Silcock key among them. Right on. Right on.
Oh, man.
Oh, somebody almost just got taken out by that SUV.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be coming home from the office through this.
Look, man, they better leave Dale's Donuts alone, though.
Yeah, that'll agitate the law enforcement class, Joe. Don't take my donuts.
Good friend of all of ours has a question.
I keep wanting to say his real name, but good job, Reaper. Good job. Yeah, I'll tell you, somebody said the youth are drawn to these events to make a difference. Yeah, my niece went to the first couple of BLM riots in Lansing, Michigan, and got a quick fill of these people aren't really here for what I was told we were here for. And she went home. Good for her. So,
good girl.
Yeah.
It's okay to go and watch if you don't know what's going on, but once you figure out that they're a bunch of crazy folk, take a run.
Yep. I'll tell you, they had an opportunity to actually affect social change, but they couldn't just not be Marxists for 5 minutes. So.
It all comes down to who's paying the bills, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, kids. It's my bedtime now.
All right, man. You guys
being here, man.
You guys are headed out of the country, correct or no?
At some point soon. Yes. Rick, good to see you. Be well.
Back.
Yes, sir.
We'll miss you.
All right. Be good.
See ya.
All right. So Portland Andy has some interesting streams. I'm going to see if I can pull them up. Looks like some of the best ones are coming out of TikTok, but there are some Facebook ones available. Let me see if I can get some of those pulled up. I don't do TikTok. Even to pull this kind of stuff, you don't make a TikTok account. That is a
not gonna happen. Drunk Zombie, we're trying to figure that out ourselves. It mostly looks like a typical Saturday night.
I mean, it was a riot. They broke it up real quick, though.
Well, there's still a little bit of fighting downtown, and these guys are still shooting some fireworks, and but the police are advancing on them. So, Pruggles, we would get him here if the State Department would let him into the country. Okay.
Any day of the week.
Oh, whoopsie. That one was a little close to their own lines. Now, look at the distraction. All these guys have stopped to look at everything else, to look at the blonde hanging out of the window. They're like, hey, girl. Note the yellow bandana. That is a marker. Antifa uses those yellow ones that generally signifies a member of their security organization. And they usually have it hanging off the back so they can be seen from behind. And that's why he's closest to the police.
See, I got a statement here from Hegseth from 2 hours ago. The violent mob assaults on ICE and federal law enforcement are designed to prevent the removal of illegal aliens from our soil, a dangerous invasion facilitated by criminal cartels, aka foreign terrorist organizations, and a huge national security risk. Under President Trump, violence and destruction against federal agents and federal facilities will not be tolerated. It's common sense. The Department of Defense is mobilizing the National Guard immediately to support federal law enforcement in Los Angeles, and if violence continues, active duty Marines at Camp Pendleton will also be mobilized. They are on high alert. Insurrection Act in play, boys.
Yeah.
Boy, looks like we missed. They're making another big push over here, it looks like, because we've got guys moving back down the street, which is good. Don't light buildings on fire, assholes. That's somebody's whole life.
Well, actually, a lot of people's, because that was a whole strip mall that was at risk.
Right.
And like you pointed out, that car had a walker right next to it. Where's the occupant of that car, the user of that walker, and what's their status right now? And I'm sorry, if you're out here tonight resisting the U.S. government while flying a Mexican flag, whatever happens is on you. I'd be more behind them if they were out there using the American flag. Just kidding. No, I wouldn't. They're illegals.
Not for this cause, yeah. Oh, and we have looting.
No. They're just getting bread.
Mm-hmm. Liquid bread.
Yeah. Is that store open? No, store's closed. The lights come on because the alarm came on. I bet you nobody steals the granola bars.
I just got reported by TDA Tracker. Yeah, TDA Tracker is a good friend, viewer of the Council on Future Conflicts. We're a big fan of Trendy Aragua Tracker. In fact, if you're out there and you aren't currently following Trendy Aragua Tracker on X, you should do so.
My man is in a wheelchair and looting beer.
My man just walked out with 240 racks and sat in the wheelchair like we didn't see that shit. What in the
That's the gas station they just pushed all those guys to, too, just for the record.
It's a miracle, Joe. It's a miracle.
Oh, man. Coors and Budweiser. And he's like, yeah, I got this. What you going to do to me?
This makes me wonder if some old names are still around. Is Wheels still alive? Is Hot Wheels still alive? I kind of doubt it.
Why is their truck like on fire?
It's an F-150.
I wonder if somebody dropped a firework in the back or something.
Maybe it could just be rolling coal.
Nah, the whole bed is smoking, so it's like something went off in there. Look at SA over there in the sweatpants too. Wow. Oh, there's another grocery shopper.
I think it's safe to say the LAPD chief of police needs to go. I'm curious about Compton, but I haven't seen anything on that since that stream went down.
Yeah, the sheriff's department's like, we're not rolling into Compton. Everybody's got an AK in Compton. It's not good.
Joe, you're not gonna believe what I just saw.
What'd you just see?
It's gonna bring back some memories.
Oh yeah. Rocking them in 81s in Koreatown.
Man, look at that.
That's old school right there.
Don Schiff shared that out.
I bet he did. We tried to get Don Schiff on tonight, but he's not feeling well, so he'll be on some other time.
He was too busy kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah. That guy's already in jail colors. He's like, I'm going to end up in orange tonight. I might as well just start out that way.
Oh, it's a high vis, yeah. Got $1 from Squishy Hunter. Have a good night, boys. Remember, fuck Marxists, fuck Antifa, hang the traitors, repeal the invaders, stay useful. Have a good night, bud.
Has anyone checked on Sibley? Yeah, I literally don't know. Robert Shock, bloused boots and A2s, baby. That's right.
And there goes that stream. I think that's everybody.
I wonder if they're booting cell service in the area.
It might be. All right, everybody. That might be an end for us tonight, but I'd watch for more of this tomorrow.
Oh, look, the alleged media man, it looks like he's about to be hooked up too. So they're going through his stuff, aren't they? Isn't that a cop going through
That's what it looks like to me.
Oh, darn it. Oh, yeah, they got him cuffed up and they're talking to him right now. Oh, shucks. That's a shame.
Well, all right, everybody. That's a little over 2 hours. It looks like all the interesting activities mostly over for the night in Los Angeles. But if it returns tomorrow during the day or night, you can expect me to start up another night watch. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think that's a fine idea. We are getting into that season. And
hold on. We might have one still live. Hold on. I'm hearing KUTV Fox 2 on it. Go ahead, though. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I was just going to say that we're getting into a season where this is probably going to happen quite a bit, so we should be paying attention. Saturday and Sunday might be very interesting next week. Crazy stuff. You need to go take a look at all that stuff. Rick says flip over to Jim Tells You. I don't know what Jim's showing, but
Let's see. Oh, we should. When we're done, we should send people to. Jim tells you.
Did you get anything on that KTV?
The only thing I'm getting for KUTV is Salt Lake, and I'm not seeing it. They're not live with anything. Oh, KTVU. Okay.
He corrected himself.
KTVU Fox 2. It's a San Francisco station. Yeah, they do have people.
That's gay. Yeah. Well, there's that same sign we just saw.
Yeah. So this is on the street. So the detention facility will be over here, I think. But yeah, it looks like it is winding down. Wonder how many arrests we're going to see. Although I think we're missing one of the critical tools we used to use to track arrests. I don't know if Los Angeles followed Portland, but I suspect they did in no longer releasing mugshots and arrest records.
What'll be interesting is to see number of arrests versus number charged. Right? It's very easy to arrest people. You just put handcuffs on them. But actually getting a prosecutor to sign off on a charge is another thing. It's late for all of you. It's not so late here.
I was going to say, it's not bad here. Let's look up Jim.
Northcom has officially taken command of the Marines and National Guard.
Oh. Let's see.
Which would make sense. That answers Jim's earlier question. It would have been Northcom that was in command anyway.
Jim's got somebody. By the way, I mean, he's doing his own thing. Jim, if you watch this later, I would have invited you, but you're doing your own thing. So, but he's got Dad's Gone Live, who is on the street there at that same gas station.
KCal 9. See what they got.
Okay, perfect. Hold on. Now we've got a new 3-stream. Let me get KCal 9 up. Here's our Mexican Hot Wheels. Caliente wheels.
So that's the same gas station, right?
Yeah, that's the same gas station. KCal News. I'm not seeing anything live from them. Let me look up where else they might be.
Try Agenda Free. He says he's still got something. See last paragraph. I'll read that real quick. Yeah. Right.
That's that line back in Compton. Good. I was wondering what was happening with that. So I know that a lot of these gangs have started to use they've been using regular dirt bikes for a while, but they've started to use these electric dirt bikes because they're pretty much silent. Sky 9 is also up. Thank you, Cast Iron. Checking that out now.
But is that line? Well, that line has to have moved because there's no concertina in front of it anymore.
Yeah, I think you're correct. So that must.
Unless it's a line at the other end.
Could be. I'm trying to get this.
Says 3 shootings tonight so far. I don't think that's unusual for Compton.
I was gonna say that's a normal. That's actually a slow Friday for Compton. I'm not finding the Sky 9 link. If one of
they
you's
probably
got
saw it on ADSB.
So Sky 9's probably licensing their stuff out to somebody else. We'll have to see who that might be. See if IRT Media's back on.
Neither of those Bearcats there.
IRT Media has streams upcoming. So they might be going live again here in a minute. We'll have to see.
Wonder why that dude had his phone number on the back of his car.
Called for a good time, obviously.
Obviously. That dude's moving because the police told him to. The classic LAPD riot stance with the side handle baton.
And the side handle love handles.
Mm-hmm.
Does DoorDash stop deliveries? No, I doubt it. Maybe like in this block, but
Yeah, I imagine that at some point LAPD had to get involved. Otherwise, they would be looked at as having let it go.
a little wall of shame action going on here. The faces keep changing.
But I told you I was media. Screaming "I'm media" does not give you a right to disobey a lawful order. Sorry.
I think these are all the people who were kettled. If I'm this is the warehouse that's across the street and down from where that facility is.
Off both ends of the road. Yeah. Shelley, Home Depot, the Home Depot parking lot.
Why can't any of these be hot chicks? Asks Nick's Ashes. Well,
I mean, that's a valid question.
I haven't seen a good leftist hot chick in a long time.
And the last time you did, it was actually a dude. So that cop is leaning over to that dude and he's like, "Hey man, I'm having steak and eggs for breakfast. You're getting 3-day-old bologna. Good luck."
And that's if the guys don't throw a riot tonight, in which case you're getting what they call ration bars, which is whatever was left over from yesterday ground up and rebaked.
Right.
Ask me how I know.
It's always a valid question. Yeah, the Home Depot thing was a hoax, by the way. So ICE was renting a unused building near that Home Depot
So
in order to use for I think probably they were probably putting supplies like for all this activity that they got going on.
So let me correct a misconception. The Home Depot hoax was in Minnesota. The actual Home Depot raid was in Los Angeles.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so Rick was saying it was a hoax. The hoax in Minnesota was all of the lawmakers saying ICE is out arresting people at the Home Depot. They weren't. They were raiding a drug and gang facility next door to the Home Depot, not at the Home Depot.
Perfect. Thanks. I got somebody named Novesity who's got a different angle. Sorry, bro. Got you muted. Ain't trying to hear all that.
Yeah, that's right, Patrick. Those bricks weren't set out for them. They just stole those. So, Rick, the Colombian candidate, is in critical condition with a head injury. I don't know that he's going to make it. He looked pretty bad when he left the scene. So, we shall see. So, those who don't know, one of the people running against the wonderful communist Colombian president was shot in the head tonight while giving a speech. And it does not look good. It is the time of assassinations going on right now.
Oh.
Bro. Oh, is S2 doing some battle tracking?
Yep.
So the green is probably the control force, and red is probably the oppo.
That's a lot of roadblocks.
Mm-hmm.
Here's our key contested terrain from earlier. That's
one of the
the
reasons
building we were looking
of
at.
roadblocks is not to stop the protesters from leaving, but to keep anyone else from getting there, right? To keep any more reinforcements from getting into the area.
Let's see where that guy that was walking away went, shall we? And his camera is just still filming pavement. Cool.
The number of arrested people seems to be growing by the minute.
It sure does. Some of them have been processed and taken away already.
Yeah. I know, Nix. It's 11:30, so I'm allowed to be tired. I would just turn off my screen so you wouldn't see them, but I don't want to deny you all the chance to see me. It's one of the services I offer. That's what makes me so nice.
Is it federal property? Yes, I do believe that part of what they have been on is federal property, and I assume that's where most of the arrests are being made, is by federal agents on federal property.
Wow, Jacob Castro, glad you got out in time.
Seriously.
The puppies are behind a door, and I don't want to get them all riled up at this hour. I can update everyone. We took Thor to the vet for some shots yesterday, and he is now a 130-pound monster.
Oh my goodness!
The dude just keeps getting bigger. And when they said, "Oh, what a nice looking Great Pyrenees," I corrected them and said, "Mediocre. He's done nothing great." Maybe he'll get there someday, but that dog is mediocre at best. He's lazy.
It's good at wearing a hat, though.
He does. He's really good at wearing a booty hat, and he absolutely loves when people come to class here because he gets to go around and hug everybody, and he's silly. Guys, like, no one wants to listen to you, Karen. We just want to watch these guys. I'm sad that we didn't get to see anybody get pelted with a pepper ball today.
There's always tomorrow, Joe.
Oh, yeah. What's she got to say?
With officers, LAPD officers make their way back to their patrol cars over there. Other information walking back. We still, though, do have a line of officers blocking off Alameda here at Temple Street. You can see they've got it kind of cornered over here. And then I see all the way in the back, I do see
I think this is where those arrests are being made, is against this wall.
Potentially SkyCal can probably see better than I can. They might have people.
Yeah, that's right where those. Yep, that's there. They are right there. So whoever that reporter is hopped on into that parking lot is filming them. That's fun.
Since this all kind of got out of control since about.
Yeah, pepper balls are not a bad thing to have to give you a less than lethal option.
Maybe not.
Huh?
Oh, I'm just saying, maybe I was wrong about that camera angle.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Try that again.
Oh, I just said maybe I was wrong about that camera angle.
No, I think that was that. York, what I recommend are pepper rounds for the shotgun. Actually better than having an airsoft gun. I want the ability to, a paintball gun. I want the ability to rapidly transition from non-lethal to lethal should I need to. So there we go. Wanda, I'm going to be honest with you. That's only because Miss Allie won't let me. I would have released him on Charlie Bear a long time ago because he's way faster than Charlie Bear, and Charlie Bear would never have come back. But she has threatened me with death. So she also wanted me to drive away Charlie Bear, but also didn't want me to scare him and bother him. So it doesn't work that way. It's one or the other. So he has not been back, which is depressing because I set up a camera to record the 3 booby traps I set up around the trash bins. And I was hoping to have a viral video of a bear getting scared to death by shotgun blanks going off, but it didn't happen.
I've got a little bit more about that looting earlier. More little baby Aladdins just coming for a loaf of bread.
Are they looting again?
That's the same place. It's just from earlier.
Hey, for the media man, if you step through, media man, if you step through that door, you have committed the crime. Okay, he didn't. A lot of media get themselves in trouble that way. They say, I'm going to go film the looted store. Hey, man, if you step through that door, you have committed the crime.
Oh, apparently the shopkeeper is telling people they're just going to claim it.
Oh, so the shopkeepers are admitting to insurance fraud right on.
That would be a bad idea.
Outstanding.
We've got a little more video that we missed earlier from them closing on the guys in front of the federal building.
Is that live or old?
This is older. Just an angle that we didn't see. We go back to live, see what we got.
So what's going to happen now is that the insurance company is going to show that video and say, I'm not going to pay out. Oh, and by the way, we're going to charge them with insurance fraud for trying to get us to pay out.
The paddy wagons have been loaded.
Blue Anon is convinced this is all right-wing folks, so Trump could take power. Yeah. They said that during 2020 as well. So
Yeah, Blue Anon is both part of Antifa and doesn't believe Antifa exists, depending on which is convenient in that current moment.
Yeah. It does, Rick, it does. But here's the risk in that. And just like I said, it's one thing for us to stand here and watch this. It's another to realize the bigger issue. Tomorrow, just like Jim said, will be the big tell how far the left goes with this. They could very well proclaim, just as Jamie Raskin threatened to, that civil war conditions now exist. It's going to be interesting to hear what they have to say on all the news shows tomorrow. And I think I know what we'll be talking about on Monday.
Yeah, I think the show is going to be kind of domestic focused for a while.
Yeah. Shell, it's one thing to say, let them take it if they're doing it in front of you. It's another thing to invite them in and then say you're going to claim it as
yeah.
theft. If I let them in, it is not theft.
It's one thing to tell your employees not to do anything to defend. It's a whole nother thing to tell the offenders to come in. That's
to come in because I'm going to scam my insurance company for the money. Yeah.
Pardon me, sir. What do you mean I cannot claim?
All this has to happen, of course, on a week when I'm going to be on the road most of the week.
I know. Well, like I said, guys, things are wrapping up here. It looks like they're loading the paddy wagons, taking folks away, and I'm let's go check on that situation in Compton. But it looks like that's slowly being rolled back. I expect that one to probably be the slowest to calm down. Yeah, I'm not even getting anything from Compton anymore.
Yeah, everything appears to have settled down for the night. All the violence was earlier.
Well, I'll keep a watch out. And if you see any great clips from this evening that we missed, go ahead and hit them to me on X. 34 hours for Watcher to fix the intro. Uh-oh. Yeah, I haven't changed that intro. Also, like the claim on that channel is completely false. I don't know if we'll be broadcasting on YouTube, though, just so everybody's aware. I generally let Scott do those appeals just because the man is, we'll just say, better professionally inclined for those type of things than I am. So we will see. I think it's a pretty decent chance, though, that you'll have to catch us on X and or Rumble. So, hey, everybody, we sure appreciate your time here this evening. If I see anything going on tomorrow, I'll go live, whether I have Joe or not. But hopefully we'll get Joe. He'll probably be packing for trip, though. So
yeah, but that's okay. I can jump on and do all that at the same time. So
heck yeah. All right, everybody, have a good night. Be safe.
See ya.